The conflict involving Iran, the United States, and Israel has entered its second week, and fighting continues to spread across the Middle East. Recent military operations began with coordinated strikes by US and Israeli forces on Iranian military and strategic sites. Those attacks followed a breakdown in diplomatic negotiations and included the killing of Iran's supreme leader, triggering Iran's full-scale retaliation. Heavy bombardment has been reported across Tehran and other major Iranian cities. Air defense systems have been overwhelmed in some areas, and explosions have rocked urban centers, including critical infrastructure like airports and fuel depots. Iran's state media reports that more than 1,000 people have been killed so far, including civilians, with thousands more injured or displaced. In response to the US and Israeli offensive, Iran has launched waves of missiles and drones at multiple targets inside Israel and across the Gulf region. Several Gulf countries, including Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, have activated air defenses and intercepted incoming projectiles. In Kuwait, 3 ballistic missiles were shot down, while firefighters fought fires from strikes suspected to be part of an Iranian assault. The conflict's human toll is not limited to Iran. In Lebanon, recent airstrikes by Israeli forces targeting senior figures linked to Iranian Revolutionary Guard units killed at least a dozen people. These operations have widened the war beyond its initial front lines, drawing in multiple actors and increasing civilian suffering across national borders. Iran's leadership has publicly rejected demands from US officials for unconditional surrender, calling such conditions unrealistic. At the same time, Iran's president issued a rare apology to neighboring Gulf states, signaling that Iran may avoid striking additional countries unless those nations are used as staging grounds for attacks against Iran. US President Donald Trump has insisted that he is not interested in negotiating an immediate ceasefire, and has even suggested that further military pressure is necessary. He dismissed the need for support from allied carrier groups, claiming the conflict was already being won by US forces. Some analysts, however, caution that even intense military action may not result in regime collapse. A recent intelligence assessment warned that Iran's leadership structure is resilient, and that large-scale warfare is unlikely to oust the government, despite the ongoing bombardment and leadership decapitation efforts. The war has intensified regional instability, with Iran-backed militias stepping up attacks on US and Israeli assets throughout the Middle East, particularly in Iraq and Lebanon. These groups have targeted coalition bases and infrastructure, contributing to the geographic spread of hostilities and complicating efforts to contain the war. Beyond direct military engagements, the conflict has disrupted economic and energy systems. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical transit route for global oil shipments, has been effectively shut down as Iran threatened to prevent maritime traffic. This disruption has already led major oil producers like Kuwait to declare force majeure on crude exports and cut production to mitigate risk. Civilian casualties have been reported not only from direct strikes, but also from the effects of intercepted missiles. In Dubai, a driver was killed by debris from an intercepted missile, underlining the danger to ordinary people, even where defenses are active. The conflict's ripple effects extend to global markets. Energy prices have spiked as shipping routes remain perilous, and financial markets have reacted to uncertainty in the region. Airline operations throughout the Middle East have been disrupted or rerouted due to airspace closures and missile threats. Diplomatic efforts have so far made little headway. Some world leaders have called for an immediate ceasefire and negotiation, but major powers remain divided. Russia has urged an end to hostilities and talked up diplomatic paths, while Western governments have mostly supported military efforts against Iran's capabilities. As this war continues to unfold, civilians throughout the region face the mounting toll of displacement, casualties, and the collapse of essential services. Hospitals and emergency responders are stretched thin, and international aid groups warn that the humanitarian crisis could worsen if fighting persists without meaningful de-escalation.